Good morning, guys. It's Dickie here. I have worked hard for 6 long days and I've got one day to play. It's Sunday in the park at Universal Studios. Now, I am still in the parking lot. I don't know what was going on this morning, but it was such a cluster at parking when I arrived. I was probably 4 cars back from going through the parking, paid parking, and then going up into the parking ramp, and I could see out past that, and all the cars were just backed up to where they were going through, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going home now. It looked terrible. I don't know what was going on, why everyone was so backed up. I don't know what they were doing, but no cars were actually going up the ramp, and everyone was backed up, and this is not right at opening. I was not here at opening. Let me be clear about that. So I don't know what was going on, but by the time I got through, which wasn't long, everything had moved and it was fine, and the parking lot is working fine. So I don't know what the confusion was. It's not like they just opened this section or anything as far as I can tell. So it is better, but I don't know what was going on, and I was like, I'm gonna just drive away. As soon as I get through, I'm going home. But no, it has cleared up, so I'm heading into the park. Gonna try and grab some breakfast once I get in there. Yeah, so I will see you inside. Alright, so hopefully this lavalier mic is going to work better than the mics that I've been using. Still haven't quite figured out how to deal with this locked gimbal. So my apologies if this gets jumpy. Still trying to learn this piece of equipment. I do have my new readers on. We are at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. Heading into the park now. Gonna head straight back to Hogsmeade. Wanna grab me some breakfast. It is a little after 10 o'clock. So, thought I might get here at open, but of course, let's be honest, I work 6 days a week. I sleep in on my one day off, so we're gonna head over to the right. Oh, that's a left. Heading over to the right. This is the way that they will generally send you if you come to Universal Studios and go for the early morning hours. They will send you through this area and through the shortcut straight to Hogsmeade. So, you know, the funny thing about this gimbal, and the thing I struggle with so much, is that it's actually so intuitive. You move it in the direction you want it to move, like the little controller. So you think that would be easy. I want it to go left, I push the thing to the left. But, you know, I want to look down, I push it forward. I want to look up, I pull back. But somehow this confuses me greatly, so. Here we are, going through Seuss Landing, heading over to Diagon Alley. I did hear some YouTubers say that they're making you go back through mobile ordering now. I'm assuming you can specialty order by walking in the restaurant, but I guess we will find that out. Also, Universal Studios does seem to be closing. At 6 o'clock tonight. Islands of Adventure is open till 9, but Universal is closing at 6, so I assume they have some sort of special event going on. I would imagine graduation related. And the tragic thing about Florida is it is already hot here. I know, I complain about the heat too much, but it's still May and I am just sweating at like 10:30 in the morning. Sweating so much. So we are heading into Hogsmeade. We are going to the Three Broomsticks for breakfast. Now, I'm not going to try and squeeze through all these people to my left doing magic in the store windows. So I will just walk around, passing the butterbeer line. And then I will have to turn back to my left and come back to the Three Broomsticks. Now, this morning, my goal was to have breakfast. I did find out upon entering that breakfast ends at 10:30, and I mean right at 10:30. It was about 10:35 when I got there, and I had to order lunch. The family in front of me did actually leave because I think they just really wanted breakfast as well. So they weren't willing to compromise. I went ahead and ordered lunch very early in the morning. I had the salad with chicken. Now, if you want to know how that meal went, of course, you can head over and check out my keto reviews on my other channel, Keto Dicky. Now, the Three Broomsticks does connect to the Boar's Head. That is the bar in Hogsmeade with a more questionable clientele in the books. You do see it in, I think, the 5th and 7th movies as well. They do have 2 Hogwarts beers on tap, as well as fire whiskey, as mentioned in the books. Now, something about Hogsmeade and the Harry Potter areas, they do play music from the Yule Ball year-round here. Although I guess the waltz is not necessarily a Christmas song, it does remind me of Christmas when I hear it, since that's the time in the movie. Of course, the village is also coated in snow year-round, so I guess Christmas wouldn't be that out of place at any given time here. Now, I am just heading over to Hogwarts to ride Journey into the Forbidden Forest. Not sure what any of the wait times are currently. I did come straight to Hogsmeade and have breakfast, so this will be my first attraction of the day. Now, if you are carrying backpacks or purses, you will need to put those into one of the lockers first. The tiny lockers at each of the attractions are free for approximately the length of a ride, or most areas have larger lockers that you can rent for 2 hours. They did redo the locker area for this attraction, and they are over on the left side facing the castle. And then after that, you'll come back and head into the queue. Now, it is currently listed as a 75-minute wait. Looks like we can just head into any of these, so here we go. Now, I will say, bigger backpacks, you might struggle getting in here. I do actually carry a separate backpack to Universal that is not padded to try and make it a little thinner. Now, the announcement as you enter the queue says you need to put your phones and all loose articles into the lockers, but I was carrying my phone recording right past this employee, and she said, enjoy your ride. So didn't address it at all with me. This is also not one of those attractions that has a metal detector that you go through. Now, the Hulk Coaster, Rip Ride Rocket, and Velocicoaster all send you through a metal detector before you ride the attractions, so definitely no phones or keys on those. They will send you back to the lockers, but none of the Harry Potter attractions require you to pass through metal detectors. The ride does have a single rider line, so we will see how that works for us. Be careful, because this is a dark walk-through area, but right as you enter, you turn left at the sign to the single rider line. I'm very curious how this lavalier works, because the music is very loud and very much copywritten. The single rider line does bypass a lot of your view into Hogwarts, so that's something to think about if you are a big Harry Potter fan. We did miss the greenhouses, the portrait room with the founders speaking to us, the fat lady portrait, Dumbledore's greeting. as well as the pre-story that we are visiting Hogwarts, supposed to be listening to a lecture by Professor Binns, history of magic teacher, and then of course deciding with Harry, Hermione, and Ron to sneak up to the room of requirement and out onto the Quidditch pitch to watch. Okay, so I am just out of that attraction. What is that? Forbidden Forest? I have no idea what that ride is called. So anyway, single rider line took about a 10-minute wait on that attraction. They're saying the wait is 75 minutes, but much shorter. If you're on the single rider line, only about 10 minutes, so not a bad attraction wait at all. Probably heading over to Hagrid's motorbikes. Okay, so just a lot of people not moving in the park. Okay, got around this. Alright, so not sure how long the single rider line is going to be on this one, but I'll have to throw everything in the locker beforehand. So I think there is a single rider line. I don't know if it moves as quick for the roller coaster, but we'll give it a try. And now I'm trying to find the opening of the line for Hagrid's. This can go quite a bit out of the park, depending on demand, but I don't think it is. I think we are right at this. I don't know. It looks like it is actually. I'm gonna have to walk down and out of the park.
Oh, okay.
I think just right to here.
On the floor for the wall.
Earlier it was outside of Hogsmeade. Okay, I'm just gonna cut through these people because no one is moving and it's just cluster right there. Now, one of the situations, okay, this is a 100-minute wait. One of the situations here, I hear that J.K. Rowling was very insistent on these narrow walkways, which is one of the places that she conflicted with Disney on building this, was that they were not going to make these narrow areas in their parks. They didn't think it was good for traffic, and it is quite terrible. You do get trapped behind people just being in your way.
To rent a locker, please, bags and loose change. Remember to keep your park ticket with you at all times.
Okay,
You will need
so
your park ticket to
drama,
reopen your
trying to
assigned
get
locker.
everything in these tiny little lockers. This is another one. It does not send you through a metal detector, so you can kind of keep your wallet with you, your keys with you. I've kept my phone with me. I'm not going to today. But getting your stuff to fit in these lockers can be quite challenging. So essentially, trying to do this one-handed. Kind of shake my bag to
To
try
rent a locker, please scan your
distribute
park
everything
ticket at the locker station that has a green light. Remember to keep your ticket with you at all times.
Shove it. So I
You will
did this
need your
load of
park ticket to
bouncing,
re-enter the
like
locker
try and balance
after
all the
arriving.
products, all the bags in
All
there,
loose articles must be placed in
to get
lockers
it to fit
including
in. So
cell
if I just
phones,
shove that
wallets,
bag in
bags
there,
and loose
the
change.
bottom is too full and
Remember
I
to
can't
keep
get
your
it
park
through.
ticket
But
with you
there
at
you
all
go.
times.
I am just out of that attraction. So the line was 110 minutes, and I waited 80 minutes. So that is not really a fast-moving single rider line. Also, the thing to think about when you're a group getting on that single rider line, first off, you generally don't get to pick which way you're going to ride, whether it's on the motorcycle or the sidecar. So if you want to be driving the motorcycle, you want to wait in the long line. You miss the pre-show. And then as far as if you're in a group, I know a lot of groups want to stand in single rider lines because it moves faster. And you do get that, like, you know, I shaved off what? It was a 100-minute wait and it was 80 for me. So I shaved off 20 minutes, but if I'm in a group of like 4 people, you're not always going to get like one after the other on the same train or like even one after the other. So like I watched one family, it probably took about 10 minutes for them to load. So, between the guy who gets off the first motorcycle and then the second kid, or then the kid, then the second kid, then the mom, like you've stood outside of the ride for 10 minutes waiting for your family to get off the ride. So you don't necessarily do that well. Now, that being said, I watched one family that lasted like 10 minutes and the next one, like all three got on one ride. So that one's less of a hit and miss. That's, not as definite a warning as the other one, but something to think about. I did ride with a 7-year-old. That was hilarious. They were like, which person's riding alone? Who's the single rider? And mom pointed towards the littlest kid, and I was like, oh, great. So, of course, he wanted to be on the motorcycle, which is, I asked and I expected, but he did. But then we ran into the issue with his shirt being tied around his waist, and they would not let him on the ride like that. So we actually got pushed back like behind his mom because we were going to be on the car in front of her. We actually got pushed back behind his mom because we had to step off, go back down the line, and then jump back on the next car. So they got off before us, but other than that, it was a good ride. He's a hilarious kid, loved the ride. Not really watched any of the movies, not much into, by his words, he's not much into the Harry Potter stories, but he loves the ride. So he thought it was awesome. He was not happy with his weight. But other than that, he was good. So I have just rushed right over to the Velocicoaster, jumping in the single rider line here. I think really Hagrid's Motorbikes is really the only one that you really worry about like getting in the correct car by riding the regular line. Here. But single rider line is at capacity, so there's a 55-minute wait for this attraction. Sorry, it's another one of those families that just like stands right in an entranceway to decide if the family's gonna ride, which always drives me crazy. Like, if you don't know if you want to ride it, like, stay back. Don't just block the entrance. But some other people were trying to figure out when the single rider line is gonna open back up. Again, I'm like, if it saves you a lot of time, I guess, but if you want to get on this ride, just go ahead and stand in line. The one thing I do love about this, as you can tell, is that I'm still carrying my phone. This does have lockers, but they're mostly through the TV. So we'll be able to keep our phones with us, keep everything with us until we get like most of the way through. Wow, there are a lot of open or switchbacks open. I think he's completely like distracted by how long and random this switchback is because we just like left the building and they're still going down. But yeah, people in front of me, like the brother stopped to get water and then the younger one got a little concerned, but oh well. And now we're back in the sun. Just out of the Velocicoaster, trying to get out of that like entrance to Discovery Center. Interesting experience. As I stated at the beginning, the single rider line was down, so I had to go in the regular line. And went into the regular line, or the regular queue. And when you get to the end, what happens is you put your stuff in the lockers towards the end, and you stop and you put your stuff in the locker, and then you just get back in the end of whatever line has collected while you're shoving all your stuff in the locker.
So depending on how quick you and your family are, depends on if you lose your place in line or not. So I was behind a group of people getting stuff into the locker, and then went through metal detector, had to get scanned because I set off the alarm. So then I lost more place in line because I'm by myself, and some guys were like, do you need to get by? And I was like, no, I'm by myself. So fell further behind, but then I guess that was a party of three, and at one point the guy turns around and looks at me and he goes, have you ever ridden in the front? And I was like, no. And so he just told them to, and we requested the front of the row. And he was with two other friends who had also done the same thing. Apparently first they missed the fact that he had talked to me. So then they looked around and they were like, where do you get two from? And he's like, I'm with this guy. But then the other thing is that ride, the Velocicoaster, is absolutely amazing from the front row. I have never taken the time to stand in that line. You know, once I'm at the front, I'm like, I want to get on the ride. I have never stood in the line to get on the front row, but that is 1,000 times better in the front. When you come over that top hat and just stop and stare at the ground, I want it to go again, really. It was so good. You fly through that ride in the front. I go into the air so much more having gone on the front than, I mean, that flips you out of your seat a lot, but the front seems to get more airtime. And I'm not a large man to get airtime, so that was quite exciting. So I was about to say, do I want to do a Poseidon's Fury? But I'm like, no, I don't. I was very excited when it reopened. And I went through the line, and I was like, wow, they really didn't change the show at all. So I'm like, it's pretty to look at. Look at it from the outside. It's a beautiful attraction to walk through the queue up. But then you're done. So anyway, I think I'm going to head on over to Spider-Man now. I think that's a nice, I'll chill a little. I've done 2 roller coasters in a row, so I'll hit up Spider-Man before waiting in another line for, unless it's really a long line for Spider-Man, then I will just go ahead and go to the Hulk. But I think I'll start with Spider-Man. Looking, it's about 2:30, and I do want to pick up my annual pass holder magnet. I know I can do it somewhere over here, but I don't know where. Over here, I'll see if I can figure that out. If not, I'll need to run over to the pass holder lounge over at the other park. Just gonna cut back over this way. I don't know why I was about to walk through the whole Seuss Landing, other than the fact that I do love Seuss Landing. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's very cute, but not very time conscientious.
You is for quality.
That's a fun bathroom right there. Nothing really fun about that bathroom, other than I just think it's fun, the alphabets, them going over the alphabet while you're heading over, or heading by it. But I don't know, depending on if people are cutting through, it's a nice unpopulated or low populated restroom. Okay, I'm going to totally see how long that little ride is where you go on the train above Seuss Landing, because I love that. As long as it's not a long wait. The carousel is closed. The Sousa is closed. Also, if I ran the zoo, but I'm not really worried about the children's play area. But the Sousa carousel is closed right now as well, and I absolutely love that. I don't know, you can work their eyes with a little handlebar while you're riding it. That just makes me so easily amused. Oh, and another thing about riding the Velocicoaster on the front row. Now, I am generally not a very loud person. I don't do a lot of screaming, but I don't even know where I get on this ride. I generally pass it by mistake. It's all the way in here. I should have just walked through. But anyway, here's the train. I hope it's not a long wait. Anyway, I am not generally a loud person. Even when I ride a roller coaster, I don't have a lot of reaction on the outside to things. But let me tell you, I screamed more on that ride, pleasantly shouting things, than probably the year I've been coming here since I moved to Orlando. So.
Y lo otro que pareció un perro.
I'm like, I try and cut around people who just aren't moving, but then they just always want to meander further in front of me. Okay, how long is this attraction? How long is this attraction? 45 minutes. Yeah, no, I don't love it that much. I don't love it that much. I love that like a 15-20 minute wait attraction. That's how much I love that ride, but I do not love it 45 minutes. Oh, someone's taking a picture in front of the truffula trees. Someone is taking a really long time taking a picture in front of the truffula trees. Okay, it's done. Okay, it wasn't her phone, so I guess you get a pass for that. Okay, I totally lied. I walked under the Incredicoaster, heard people screaming, and just jumped right in that line. So the wait on that was only 25 minutes, according to the sign. Sorry, I had to get around people again. The wait on there was only 25 minutes, according to the sign. I jumped in the single rider line. Once I made it through the metal detector, there were two people waiting in front of me, and I did actually end up riding on the front of that attraction as well. So very excited for that. It's a fun ride. Now I'm heading over to see what the wait for Spider-Man is. Hopefully it's not too long. Now I'm kind of like, maybe I don't want to wait for like Spider-Man. But we'll see. We'll see how long the wait for this is. If it is too long, then we can head out for more thrill rides. So maybe. Thank you. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Hey, blue hair.
Thank you. I'm sorry. There are a bunch of people in blue, and they're. Oh, it's a 30-minute wait. It's a 30-minute wait. Do I want to wait 30 minutes? Decisions. Yeah, I think I'll wait 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna get on that. Haven't ridden in forever. I haven't been here in forever. Oh, there's a single rider line for this. Let's see how long that is. I had no idea there's a single rider line for this attraction, I don't think. Ooh. There's a wait for the single rider line. Oh. Alright. So we are heading out of Spider-Man. I have never noticed that single rider line before. I don't know if that's when they added that when they redid it or not. Or if they have always had that there. But I'm not familiar with seeing the single rider line for that. I think now there was a little bit of drama, I will tell you that, in the single rider line there. There were a couple of people, and English was not their first language, and I don't know if single rider line is a concept really taught in your foreign language classes. Like, probably not something that's necessarily something someone can easily translate. So, you know, I don't remember ever learning that phrase in French, like preparing me for an amusement park. So I don't know if you know, it's completely understandable that someone cannot be familiar with the concept and not be aware of it, but they had accidentally gotten into that single rider line, and it was a fairly short line, and the other line was only like 30 minutes, so it's not a terrible thing, but they got to the front, and they didn't want to be separated, but they weren't comfortable, they weren't happy to just leave the line. They wanted to be put as a group onto the ride from the single rider line. And you know, their reasoning was they misunderstood. But obviously the team still wouldn't let them because they had not waited the extended wait everyone else is waiting. They were in the short line. And it was moving much shorter. I mean, that was not a wait at all, really, once I got in it. Maybe 10, 15 minutes next. You go down. I got into a line that I thought, ooh, this looks like a long line. And essentially, I went through that, turned a curve, went through another small line, and then walked through a doorway and pretty much into the queue for the ride. And honestly, I probably would have been in quicker if they had not remained in that line arguing to be put in as a group. So at the end, they did not get in as a group, and they were told you can either be separated or go through, exit and then go through the full line. So I don't know if they got back in the correct line or not, but they did not ride as single riders, so just be aware that that can happen to you. You do have to be prepared to be separated if you're in the single rider line. Also, in that single rider line, while it is a lot quicker and not much of a wait, not really a well-themed hallways. One is the exit, so you're just at the exit queue, brick walls. The other hallway is there's just a red wall with white spider web painted on it. And then you're back in the attraction queue.
Thank you.
I am heading back into Hogsmeade. I think I'm going to go get in line for the Hogsmeade Express, head over to Diagon Alley, and then into Universal Studios. Try and pick up that annual pass holder magnet. See if I'm hungry by then for some dinner. Still, I had lunch at 10:30. It's about 3:30 now, so 4 hours. Well, it's still holding up pretty well on that salad. I could eat, but I'm not starving, so it's not like it didn't hold me over for a reasonable amount of time. But we'll see how long this next attraction is, then decide on a meal from there. I don't know if I fully said what was going on before I got onto Spider-Man. There were a group of people that were like, "Hey, I love your blue hair." A bunch of people in blue shirts. One guy did try and give me a high five, but I wasn't paying enough attention. Totally missed him. I tturned around. He was still waiting and looking at me. I was like, sorry. So that's what happened when I kind of got distracted over around Spider-Man. But yeah, we're just heading by the kebabs. I wish they would do more with this area. Expand this out a little. If they're not going to use that theater, either put a new attraction there or put a new show in that theater. I do believe the show was written for the special effects there, so it might be a little bit of a challenge, but I don't know. They could probably redesign the stage and all of that stuff. Or they could just go ahead and turn that into an attraction. Ooh. All Hallows Boutique. Going in here.
It does have a tendency to disappear if you got that kind of time.
Oh, I like the bag. It is a cute bag if I were a little bit more goth. Oh, she's adorable too. Oh, lunchbox. Oh, those are cute. Socks. Sorry, I was all distracted by this.
Yeah, they're very cute.
totally in love with these shirts, and I just couldn't get over to them. They're like tarot card shirts. There are a couple of them, but none of the ones that I saw that I like the artwork. Like, there's some artwork on the wall that I really love, but they don't have them in the shirt, I don't think. Ooh, this is cute. Oh, lunchboxes. There's also some sauces, but I'm completely confident in just not even looking and saying that they have sugar in them. So, I can't remember what I really loved. Well, that was cute, but I did go looking for, I found one I loved earlier. I wanted the shirt of, but they did not have the shirt in the art that I like so much, but I don't even remember which of the designs it was to look for it anymore. I love the summer look of this place. I would probably buy some merchandise for that if I could find it. Like some haunted luau shirts or various things like that.
They made it summer.
I can appreciate a glittered keyring, but I think anyone else who knows me would kill me if I owned it. I like that turtle. He's not really horror inspired, just the summer. These are cute. Wolfman. Yeah, I think those are adorable. I wish they had a Bride of Frankenstein. Oh, I just realized that was skulls. Oh. Alright, back to where I was on my way to. I love that. Okay. I just noticed what that was. Okay, this attraction closes at 6 because the other park closes at 6. 25-minute wait. You do need a park hopper or ticket for this. Alright, so I think it said it was a 25-minute wait. I don't even remember now. The thing you have to have is you have to have a park-to-park ticket to take this attraction, because it does take you from Islands of Adventure to Studios. So you have to be able to go to both parks. That is, I don't know if you can hear it with the lavalier mic, but you can hear Hagrid on the magical motorbike attraction. Like as you're walking through this queue, you can hear the section where they're telling you that he's going to send you, that the bikes will take them on from the blast-ended screens. This is a rather meandering queue. I don't know if the wait is considered including the walk time. I think it is still actually out, but yes, it's out the door just by a few folks. So it looks like we're going to have a bit of a wait, maybe 25 minutes from here, don't know. But we got time. Again, I want to ride the Harry Potter attraction over there at Gringotts and pick up my annual pass holder magnet, and that's really the only goals I have.
Sorry guys, I failed to hit record to get this train pulling into the station and forgot the audio, turning on those mics.
Alright, so I am out of Gringotts. I did rush right over after I got off of the Hogwarts Express. That was another long single rider line. I did wait for, about an hour. Sorry about that quick shift. It's been about an hour and 10 minutes since I got in line that it took me to get out of that ride. And I think that it was only like a 65-minute wait for a regular line. So definitely, I would say if I saved anything, it was very little time that I saved. But the park's open for about another hour. Universal is. Islands of Adventure is open till 9, but Universal Studios is closing at 6 tonight. So this park's open for about an hour. I'm hoping that the pass holders lounge is still open so I can actually get go ahead and get my pass holder magnet. I have not gotten a pass holder magnet in a really long time, so I am trying to rush over there as quickly as possible. I think the last I heard, the Dragon Ride, Escape from Gringotts, was up to like 85 minutes, I believe. I actually started to fall asleep on the Hogwarts Express, so I was kind of like, I'm probably done. But I did go ahead and stand in another line. I'm not feeling as tired now as I was when I got into that line. So it did wake me up just standing around doing nothing. But you do also become aware of how tired you are. Alright, so that is the first time I've actually ever seen a Universal parade. I've managed to miss Mardi Gras the entire time. I came here one day, but I just was not having a good day and left immediately. I did notice that the lounge, pass holders lounge, is 11 to 4 each day, so that is closed. Too late to get anything from there. So didn't get my magnet. I'm not heading back over to the other park. I think I'm done for the day. So I am just going to be heading out. I have had a good day. I guess the next adventure is to see if I can remember where my car is. I know it's ET. I'm thinking 637. 637. That seems like a ridiculous number, but I'm thinking it is. So we'll see if I find my car today. Yay! Okay, so I am out of the park. Oh, I'm just seeing what my hair looks like. Apparently got very wind blown or blown down during the day. Which is okay. I really didn't expect it to be that amazing and hold up that well on roller coaster day. But yeah, so been to the park. Had a good day. It is 5:35. The only thing I'm disappointed about is that magnet. I haven't gotten one since probably December of 2020. Because I didn't get one I don't think I got one all of last year. And here we are, May of this year, and I still don't have one. So, haven't been great about getting the magnets, knowing when they're even available. But I did know about this one. I did try today, but it was closed. I've been there since 10:30, so 7 hours at the park. I should have eaten, but I'm not in love with Universal Park food. I don't think it has as much interesting options or even as themed restaurants that you want to go to. They do have some. They do have some that I'll eventually make it to, but I just didn't have it to stand in line for one of them at this point of the evening. I wanna go home and shower. I am wet and sticky. And I want to drink. So tired. Anyway, I did have a good day. Got in some good rides. Got some roller coasters in. That's always fun. Some of the lines were short. Some of the long lines were long. And that's even the single rider lines. I think I waited in 2 single rider lines for over an hour, and that's just painful. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed the day with me. I had a great time. I hope you did as well. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and a thumbs up. Oh, we did not... Oh, no, I'm nowhere near parked in ET 637. I think that's what I thought I was earlier. I'm at 463, so yeah. I couldn't find my car. But I was totally in the wrong place for it, so yeah, that's a tragedy. I guess I should record those walks, but it's a whole different walk of shame, you know. Where did I park my car? I'll never be that person. But anyway, I did eventually look at the picture and get to my car, and I didn't give it too much. I mean, all you can do is walk down a row and miss it and be like, no, not here. But anyway, did not know where my car was today, but I was in ET, so yay. And I did have a picture, so win. Anyway, if you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. Want to know when all of these are coming, please hit that subscribe and notification buttons. And so this is it. I will see you next Sunday in the park.